Hi guys, and welcome back to What About, a series of short reviews for new releases. So, what about Deadlight? While not technically a new release, Deadlight was originally an Xbox Live title. Released at the start of August by Microsoft Studios and developed by Tequila Works, Deadlight now makes its way to the PC via Steam. Deadlight is a side-scrolling 2.5D puzzle platformer with a zombie survival element. And while none of these are remotely unique either on their own or as a whole, the game did have its charm for me. The graphics are fair, but nothing special. Being an Xbox port, the options are limited. You can choose your resolution and run in a window or full screen. There's a VSync button that someone forgot to wire up, as it seems to do bugger all, and graphical options are in the form of a labelless slider that apparently increases or decreases the graphical quality. The game is also locked at 30 frames a second, but even on a GTX 570 I was suffering drops down to as low as 19. One of the first things I did notice, thanks once again to a console port, was the lack of anti-aliasing. This was particularly noticeable around the main character, who spends the entire game as a slightly highlighted silhouette. Now, while the characters and the zombies, known in this game as shadows, aren't exactly amazing looking, there is a nice fluid and organic quality to the animation. This reminded me a lot of the 1992 classic Flashback by Delphine Software, which was one of the very first games to use rotoscoping on live actors for realistic human animation. Where time and effort has gone into this game is with the backgrounds. The portions of the game spent inside rooms and buildings look good, with a lot of variety to the post-apocalyptic ruins of houses, factories and businesses. But the real beauty comes when you step outside. Great care has been taken to make a unique and varied city that really does look like it has seen a major catastrophe. Every new area you visit has a different vibe, and the aesthetic really does make you feel like you're alone in the world against these hordes of zombies. This is all done very well with the 2.5D mechanic to really give you a feeling of depth to the city, often with shadows emerging to attack you from alleyways in the background. As for the sound, I can't really say that anything grabbed my attention. There was very little music that I heard, and what I did was in the cutscenes. I even checked several times to make sure my music was enabled, but if there was music, I didn't even notice it. Zombie groans and moans are fairly standard, the same old stock sounds you'll hear in any other zombie game, movie, TV show, city centre on a Friday night. Sound effects for environmental objects such as explosions, garage doors, breaking glass and even sparks of electricity all sound good and add to the atmosphere. But nothing there is going to make you go ooh like a crowd of slightly drunk teenagers at a firework display. The voice acting on the other hand is rather good. Certainly some of the best I've heard in an indie title for quite some time. The protagonist is a slightly older fellow with a gruff and worldly voice. The dialogue is well written as you'd expect for any zombie infested shindig, but the vocal work really does give you a sense of the turmoil the main character has suffered. The gameplay was enjoyable throughout, and while you are given a melee weapon in the form of a fire axe close to the start of the game, followed later by a revolver, taking on the shadows is seldom the best option. Ammo isn't too hard to find, and especially if you shoot everything with a headshot, but taking on more than one zombie with the axe is a very bad idea. The game uses a stamina system which depletes as you sprint, hang from ledges and swing your axe. As you become more tired, you become slower, lose your grip and swing the axe like a 4-year-old girl. Instead, you're either encouraged to kill them using environmental hazards such as dropping heavy stuff on them, goading them into falling down holes, or even luring them into pools of electrified water. There is also many occasions where you can just avoid them altogether, by either running past them or taking a series of jumps and ledges. The jumping puzzles themselves are never really taxing, and often only take a few seconds of eye scanning to see what you need to do. However, sometimes as you enter a room you do trigger a horde of zombies, and only have a split second or two to scrabble onto a filing cabinet and poke at them with a broom handle. The game autosaves at almost every room, so should the zombie horde take you by surprise as you're looking for the janitor's closet, a quick reload puts you back at the start of the room. My verdict on this title for the most part is quite good. I really did enjoy Deadlight, and as an old school platform fan I don't ever really see anything new that grabs my interest these days. Despite the fact that there were a few graphical glitches, the annoying lock to 30 FPS, and the clear Xbox port that shows Xbox controller buttons on the screen for every action, it never took my attention from the game, and I did feel that I was playing an enjoyable PC title. For those of you without a controller, the game plays absolutely fine with the keyboard and mouse, and it's very responsive. My only real concern is value for money, as this is a very short game. Don't get me wrong, for the price I wasn't expecting the next Skyrim, but Deadlight can be completed in less than 3 hours. If you know the game well and don't hang around to admire the scenery or flick zombies with a wet towel, you can run through it in around 2 hours. The game does have some collectibles, the only sad thing is they're all pointless and added as flavour but have no real value other than to try and artificially extend the life of the game. But if you like zombies, puzzle platformers and hacking the undead into little pieces with an axe, then you will almost certainly enjoy Deadlight. Just be aware that this is a short game and ask yourself if the price justifies the game time that you will get out of it.